Swaroop, let's begin with our top focus on the death of Mukhtar Ansari. Remember, the gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari died because of a cardiac arrest on Thursday night, following which there's been a political brouhaha with the opposition now training its guns at the Yogi government and also the government at the centre. Having said that, let's also give you a quick update in terms of what's happening right now. Well, the mortal remains of Mukhtar Ansari will soon be carried out. In fact, the body has been taken out of Banda. Remember, it was in the Banda jail where Mukhtar Ansari was lodged, and now soon after he complained of not feeling too well, he was rushed to the medical center in Banda, and now we're learning that the mortal remains which were in the Banda autopsy center are now being ferried to Ghazipur, which is the home district of the Ansaris, and it will be at a burial ground in Ghazipur that Mukhtar Ansari's mortal remains will finally be buried. Remember, the family of Mukhtar Ansari is also crying foul. They're saying that there is foul play in question because Mukhtar Ansari, they're claiming, was poisoned, and there was slow poisoning that was being done in the jail, in the Banda jail by the jail authorities. Having said that, important to also note that this is also a matter now up for investigation. A judicial independent probe is also being opened into this entire matter. Let's also look at the political ramifications of this. We will be deep diving into the political reactions, but before we do that, let's also play out all those political voices that have spoken up on this entire matter.
वो उनकी प्रक्रिया है, हमने तो लिख कर दिया है कि दिल्ली एम्स के डॉक्टरों से कराया जाए। हमें यहाँ की चिकित्सा प्रणाली और शासन प्रशासन पर विश्वास नहीं है। वो सोशल मीडिया पर भी है और मीडिया को भी हमने मुहैया करा दिया। आप लोग को सब पता है कि क्यों मैं ऐसा कह रहा हूँ। और पोस्टमार्टम होगा नहीं होगा, मैं तो जुमे की नमाज़ पढ़ने आ गया था, अभी वहीं से पंचनामे की सारी चीज़ें हो गई हैं और अब डीएम साहब को फैसला करना है, देखते हैं क्या फैसला। लेकिन
सूचना मीडिया ही के माध्यम से भाई न्यूज़ों में देखने को मिला रात। प्रशासन ने तो कोई सूचना नहीं दी। 18 मार्च से उनकी काफ़ी तबीयत ख़राब चल रही थी। बार बार कहने के बावजूद कोई इलाज नहीं दिया जा रहा था। 25/26 की रात में तो काफ़ी तकलीफ़ हुई, तो उनको चंद घंटों के लिए मेडिकल कॉलेज लाए, फॉर्मेलिटी करके स्टेबल है कह के वापस, कोई इलाज नहीं।
All right, let's quickly give you a sense of what's happening on ground, whether it's Ghazipur or Banda. And for that, let's quickly go across to Siddhant Mishra, who's been tracking all the latest for us. Siddhant, give us a sense of what is the security deployment like in Banda and, of course, Ghazipur, where the mortal remains will finally arrive for burial.
Well, that's right. This we can confirm for our viewers that the mortal remains, the body of Mukhtar Ansari, is being transported to Ghazipur. It's his ancestral home. And in fact, the Qabristan next to his home, is the place where he'll be buried. In fact, he's being accompanied by all friends and family members in the convoy, which has just left Banda Medical College and is heading towards Ghazipur. Now, the challenge for the Uttar Pradesh police is to make sure that this entire transportation goes peacefully. In fact, there is ambulance and police vehicle also in the convoy. At the same time, the SPs of all the districts have been instructed to be on the high alert. The districts with this convoy is going to take because festive season is going on. At the same time, today is a day of Jummah Namaz, and that is the reason that the full road map of the transportation has already been shared with the families. The police vehicles are also part of the convoy, and now the convoy is heading towards Ghazipur, where his family would be present, and the final rites of Mukhtar Ansari will take place in Ghazipur. Now, there is also a parole application which was moved in the courts for the parole of Abbas Ansari. Now, we really don't know what's the status of that, but there was an attempt which was made by the lawyers of Abbas Ansari to set him free for a today so that he can attend Mukhtar Ansari's last trial. Now, this today marks an end of Mafia Raj in Uttar Pradesh. Perhaps Mukhtar Ansari, who has in a way ruled the areas of Purvanchal, Ghazipur, and Mau for years, is no more, and this is the reason that police is on high alert, and in fact there's also an apprehension that there's going to be people coming in large number, his supporters, because that's his hometown, in large number near Kabristan. So the adequate police arrangement has also been made.
I mean, it's very obvious that, that kind of mass following is what Mukhtar Ansari sort of commanded over the masses of Uttar Pradesh. He had that kind of massive political clout. But Siddharth, also give us a sense of why is Mukhtar Ansari's family, in fact, crying foul that there was slow poisoning involved. There's also an entire timeline that's being referred to from 19th of March onwards, when Mukhtar Ansari, in fact, started complaining about his health. Give us a sense of what is this timeline that they are referring to.
Well, they're talking about apprehensions. Now, all these leaders are questioning that the family had already alleged that he's being poisoned and there's a conspiracy to kill himself, blah, blah, blah. But, the idea is that these apprehensions are going on since 2017, since Yogi Adityanath coming to power. In fact, there were a lot of doubts raised at the time of his transportation from Punjab prison to the Uttar Pradesh that he would be killed and encountered by STF. Many things were said at that point in time also, but nothing happened. So family and friends and the well-wishers of Mukhtar Ansari has been planting such stories in media from quite some time, since 2017, when they got to know that the administration has gone against them and all their cases are going to get reopened, going to get fast-tracked. And in fact, you see the track record of Yogi government in just 6 years or 7 years of his regime. He got 8 convictions against Mukhtar Ansari, which were long pending. So, that perhaps has sort of created anti-atmosphere for Mukhtar Ansari. And that is the reason that his family and he himself has been playing the victim card since 2017. That there is a conspiracy going on against him. There are plans being worked out to kill him. So all those things have been said multiple times. The idea is that what proof does the family members and the relatives of Mukhtar Ansari has to prove that he was poisoned? We are still awaiting the postmortem report. We don't want to jump to any conclusion. The prima facie, the initial report is going to come anytime soon, because postmortem has just got over, and the initial report will clear the air whether there was any poisonous substance found inside his body. Has he consumed any poisonous substance? So things would be clear, and perhaps that would put an end to all the speculation and the stories going around that he has been poisoned.
Right, Siddhant, thank you for bringing in all those inputs. In fact, as the political controversy that is flaring up at the moment over the death of Mukhtar Ansari also underplays, it's important to highlight that victims of Mukhtar Ansari have also spoken up. That also includes the wife and the son of the BJP MLA who was slain by Mukhtar Ansari. He was Mr. Krishnanand Rao. Let's also listen in to what his family members have to say, not to forget the cops who've borne the brunt of the crime of the heydays of Mukhtar Ansari. Let's listen in to these reactions.
यही है कि बाबा की आशीर्वाद है। जय, आज मैं हमेशा बाबा के दरबार में न्याय के लिए करती थी, आज न्याय मिला है हमको। देखिए, होली के त्योहार हम लोग इस घटना के बाद नहीं मना पाते थे। आज हमको लगा कि नहीं, हमारे लिए आज का दिन होली का ही दिन है।
पीयूष, द फैमिली मेंबर्स ऑफ मुख्तार अंसारी वो कह रहे हैं कि कंस्पिरेसी है, फाउल प्ले है, उनको जहर दिया गया है, उनकी हत्या जो है नेचुरल कॉजेज से नहीं हुई है, उनको मारा गया है। हाउ डू यू रिस्पॉन्ड?
दिस इज अ मैटर ऑफ investigation, and surely the government will look into this. But after all, the judgment that has been passed by the Almighty, we are all happy that finally the Almighty has given His verdict. And once said that the Almighty, whatever decides, always happens for the beneficiary of everybody. So whatever comes from His court or from His judgment we should accept it very sincerely.
He faced the charge, Mukhtar Ansari, Piyush faced the charge of killing your father. I know your family went through quite an ordeal. It was such a tragedy when you lost your father, BJP MLA Krishnanand Rai. Can you take us through those times, those moments? It must have been such a traumatic time for your family and for the rest of the family members as well.
Yeah, of course, that time was very upsetting, and whenever we try to remember those periods, we still get some shivers from it. But the intentions of the government always is very important for the betterment of the society. And at that time, the government of Samajwadi Party has clearly no vision and no clear indication of their actions against such people who are bad in the society. And clearly there has been change from 2017 under the leadership of Pujaniya Maharaj Yogi Adityanath ji. We see a clear intentions of zero tolerance policies against such people who have been always corruption and always loot to the society.
All right. What's very interesting is to note the fact that Krishnanand Rao's son Piyush Rai has in fact gone on to say that Holi has now begun for us. We did not celebrate Holi, and that is the kind of impact that Mukhtar Ansari and his crime had on so many families of Uttar Pradesh. On that note, I'd like to bring in Aman, who's joining us with the latest. Aman, give us political perspective to the passing away of Mukhtar Ansari. This is a man who commanded tremendous clout within UP politics, not to forget within the Muslim community of Uttar Pradesh, was known as the Bahubali of the East. How will this now change the poll arithmetic of the upcoming Lok Sabha election for the BJP and the opposition parties?
See, Mukhtar Ansari has been in jail since 2005. Almost over 18 years he's been in jail, but still he's the 5-term MLA from Mau. So he's won many elections while in jail. And he's been the MLA before 2005, but even then he's won many elections when he was in jail. In 2022, finally, he could not contest because a conviction came finally against Mukhtar Ansari. And his son contested from Mau and he also won. His brother Abbas Ansari is the sitting MP from Ghazipur seat, under which Mau falls, and he is from the BSP. So in a way, the Ansari family has had close relations both with the BSP as well as the Samajwadi Party. They have dabbled with both, and that is why we also see this support coming from, in a way, from the SP and the BSP asking for a top-level probe. So Mukhtar Ansari, even when he was in jail, had a profound influence on the politics of Purvanchal. The difference, I think, came post-2017 when Yogi Adityanath government came to power, that the crackdown began not just on his assets were seized, his properties were razed, but also the cases against him were fought more vigorously in the courts. So you can imagine that a man against whom first cases lodged in 1970s and a murder case lodged in 1980s is for the first time convicted in any case post 2017. And now, Kanksha, right now, before he has died, there were 8 convictions against him in the last 2 to 3 years, all of life imprisonment. So I think the Yogi government's crackdown weakened the Mukhtar Ansari influence over West UP, East UP, not entirely, but in a big measure. And his death, however, may create some sympathy for the Ansari family. Ghazipur seat is now an interestingly watched seat because last time Mukhtar Ansari's brother Abbas Ansari had defeated a tall face of the BJP, Manoj Sinha, from there. This time will be Abbas Ansari, will BSP be able to retain that seat or not remains to be seen. But BJP would see this as because for the BJP's constituency in UP, this is the step that BJP would say, look, we have cracked down on Mafia. Atiq Ahmed died in last April. Now Mukhtar Ansari is also dead. Purvanchal has been got rid of the 2 biggest mafias which ruled for so many years. But of course, these deaths come in questionable circumstances. Atiq Ahmed was killed when he was in police custody. Mukhtar Ansari has died in judicial custody in a jail when his family was complaining of him keeping ill health or even being poisoned. Only the autopsy can now make it clear what were the circumstances of Mukhtar Ansari's death.
At the same time, Aman, we've seen how political parties, especially the ones in the opposition, have been attacking the BJP and the Yogi government. Today, what we've seen happen, whether it is an Asaduddin Owaisi or an Akhilesh Yadav attack the Yogi government for what they call is lawlessness. is this also a sort of deja vu moment after the encounter that we saw last year happen around the same time as far as Atiq Ahmed is concerned? And can is the opposition standing at that point where they can milk that rhetoric, where they are saying that Yogi government is known for its encounter Raj and it is a government which is known for bulldozer Raj?
I think the Yogi government here is very clear. It is not against a particular religion as such. It is against mafia. So, be it Mukhtar Ansari, be it Atiq Ahmed, or before that, we saw this gangster from Kanpur, whose car had overturned and he was killed in an encounter post that. The Yogi government has been very clear. It will come down very harshly on issues of organized crime and mafia. And East UP, Purvanchal has been renowned for this for so many years. I remember Mukhtar Ansari in Ghazipur and Atiq Ahmed in Prayagraj, Allahabad. This whole belt was run extortion, ransom. These had become like killings. Big time killings have happened in Purvanchal at the hands of either Atiq Ahmed or Mukhtar Ansari or the rival gangs. And this is what the Yogi government has cracked down on. I think the BJP is very clear. It is not looking for any political gains here. It is trying to crack down on crime. But of course, the death of a prisoner in jail in suspicious circumstances, mysterious circumstances, does raise questions over the government, and that is why the political parties like SP and BSP are now taking pot shots at the Yogi government.
All right. Many thanks to you, Aman, for putting that entire story into perspective for us. As Aman was highlighting, this is a man who was known for straddling between crime and politics, had 65 cases against him, and 8 of those cases he was convicted for. Having said that, let's also bring you another big exclusive that we've done with a former DSP of Uttar Pradesh who was there, who was almost forced into resigning during the Sapa government in Uttar Pradesh. He was the one who also had evidence against Mukhtar Ansari, but was asked to have a softened stance against the criminal turned politician. Let's listen into this conversation. Do you think that the youth is also now realizing the changes and that all the support that the Samajwadi Party was trying to gain out of the Mukhtar Ansari family, because we all know that Mukhtar Ansari's brother is also fighting from the Ghazipur seat. Do you think the change is here for everyone to see?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल यूथ विशेष रूप से अब तैयार नहीं है इन लोगों के पुराने दौर को वापस लाने के लिए। आप बगल के बिहार में देख लीजिए, आज लालू का या उनका परिवार किस बात की सज़ा पा रहा है? इसी बात की तो सज़ा पा रहा है, सत्ता से बाहर हो जा रहे हैं। तो अब उत्तर प्रदेश में भी कोई भी इन लोगों को नहीं लाना चाहेगा, कोई भी बहन बेटी की इज्जत खतरे में नहीं डालना चाहेगा। हर कोई ये लगता है कि हमारा बच्चा सुबह निकला है तो शाम को सुरक्षित घर आवे। क्या था पहले ज़माना, जेल में रहें चाहे जेल से बाहर रहें, जब जिसको चाहे उठा लिया, जब जिसको चाहे मार दिया, जब जिसको चाहे इनकाउंटर वो पैसा ले लिया। डॉक्टर्स हो चाहे बिजनेसमैन हो, अपने घर में प्लास्टर बाहर नहीं कराते थे क्लिनिक में
जी, आज
कि हमको ये न दिखाई दे कि पैसा इनके पास है।
आज कृष्णानंद राय के परिवार ने, उनकी पत्नी ने, उनके पुत्र ने, दोनों ने कहा है कि हमारे लिए आज होली है, हमने होली सेलिब्रेट करना बंद कर दिया था। मेरा समझना ये है क्योंकि इस इंसान की वजह से आपको भी रिजाइन करने पे मजबूर किया गया था। आज आपके लिए भी एक बहुत बड़ा जस्टिस वाला दिन है। मैं आपके एफर्ट्स पे I want you to shed light on your own efforts. एक LNG की जो कहानी है कि लाइट मशीन गन आपने किस तरह बरामद की उनसे, वो पहले भी कभी नहीं बरामद हुई थी, ना बाद में हुई। आपने पोटा इम्पोज किया था। आप एक बहुत ही निडर अफसर के तौर पे अपनी पूरी जो है अपना धर्म आपने पूरा किया। हमें बताएंगे कि वो उस दौर में आपको कितनी कठिनाई हुई, आपने किस तरह उस गन को ट्रैक किया था?
नहीं, सही बात है। जैसा आपने पहले कहा कि कृष्णानंद जी के परिवार के लिए आज होली दिवाली है, बात सही है। जिसके घर में इस तरह निशंत हत्या हुई हो, आपने देखा उस समय उनकी शिखा काटी गई, ये सब मीडिया में आया। मैं LMG उस समय रिकवर न करता तो 2.25 साल पहले ही कृष्णानंद जी को मार दिया गया होता। तो स्वाभाविक है उनके परिवार के लिए बड़ा दिन है। रही बात मेरी, तो मैं भी इनका जो चरित्र था उस पर हाथ डाला तो मुझे खामियाजा भोगना पड़ा, मुझे और क्या मेरे परिवार को भी भोगना पड़ा। लेकिन फिर भी मैंने एक पॉजिटिव सोच रखी और अपना काम करता रहा।
नहीं, पर हमें बताएंगे कि 2004 का जो जी 2004 का जो दौर था, हमें उसके बारे में बताइए, जब आपने ये LNG भी बरामद की।
बिल्कुल सही बात है। 2004 जनवरी की शुरुआत में ही आपको याद हो कि उत्तर प्रदेश के लखनऊ जो राजधानी है उसमें कृष्णानंद और मुख्तार अंसारी के बीच में क्रॉस फायरिंग कैंट थाना क्षेत्र में हो गया था और शासन के प्रशासन के सरकार की किरकिरी हो गई थी कि अगर लखनऊ में इस तरह गैंगवार हो रहा तो बाकी जगहों पर क्या होगा। और एसटीएफ को जिम्मेदारी दी गई, विशेष रूप से मुझे लीडर के रूप में काम दिया गया कि आप पूर्वांचल के रहने वाले इनको समझते हैं, आप इस पर अंकुश लगाइए। और उसी अंकुश के दौरान हमने ये LMG रिकवर किया, सब कुछ बरामद किया। लेकिन जो इतना बड़ा काम था कि LMG न पहले कभी रिकवर हुई न आप उसके बाद हुई, अकेली सिंगल रिकवरी है, पोटा कानून उस पर लगा था और वो सब धता बताते हुए भी इनको आउट ऑफ वे जाके मुलायम सिंह ने समर्थन दिया और बचाया और खामियाजा हम लोग को भोगना पड़ा। तो घटना बहुत बड़ी थी। एक बहुत बड़े उम्मीद जो लोगों को थी कि नहीं अच्छे लोग हैं तो प्रशासन शासन न्याय करेगा, ठीक से चलेगा, वो एक झटका लगा था लोगों को। और मैं उस समय रिज़ाइन करके इंडिपेंडेंट चुनाव बनारस से यही लड़ा था। जनता से मैंने अपील की थी कि आप लोग नहीं चेतोगे तो ये सरकार का चरित्र भी नहीं बदलेगा। माफिया जानता है कि हमको आप जिता रहे हो तो सरकार हमको गोदी में बैठाएगी ही। मैं केवल इस बात के लिए चुनाव लड़ा था, इस मुद्दे को ले जाके जनता में। और मुझे इस बात का संतोष है कि आज 20 साल में जनता इस बात को समझ रही है और ऐसे लोगों को खारिज कर रही है। और पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को भी मैसेज है, खासकर नेशनल पार्टीज को, कि जरा इनसे दूरी बना के रखिए, नहीं तो जनता आपको खारिज कर देगी।
आखिरी के 15 सेकंड में आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाहूंगी। मुलायम सिंह हो या मायावती हो, उनकी गवर्नमेंट और आज के योगी आदित्यनाथ के राज में आपको क्या अंतर दिखता है?
देखिए, मुलायम सिंह हो मायावती हो, दोनों ने मुख्तार को गले लगाया अपनी अपनी सुविधा के अनुसार। लेकिन योगी आदित्यनाथ ने शुरू से लेकर अंत तक इन लोगों पे एक्शन ही नहीं लिया, बल्कि जो रिकवरी जो संपत्ति बनाई थी अपराध से वो भी रिकवर किया गैंगस्टर एक्ट में। और आज पुलिस का मनोबल बढ़ा हुआ है, पुलिस का इकबाल, जिसको शासन का इकबाल कहते हैं, वो कायम हुआ है। आज अपराधी डर के मारे सरेंडर करके जेल में चला जाता है कि हम सुरक्षित रहें, बचे रहें। तो ये बदलाव आया है और इसको जनता देख रही है और अप्रिशिएट कर रही है।
All right, staying with our top focus on the Mukhtar Ansari story, we're getting in some breaking inputs. We are learning that Mukhtar Ansari's son, Abbas Ansari, will in fact be applying for bail and is also trying to get a parole, for which he will be knocking at the doorstep of the Apex Court, where he can be granted parole only to attend his father's funeral ceremony. Remember, Mukhtar Ansari will be buried in the family burial ground in Ghazipur from some time from now. Let's quickly go across to Ananya Bhattagar, who's joining me on the phone line with the details. Ananya, earlier the reports were indicating that the family will be approaching the Allahabad High Court, but now we are hearing that they will be directly approaching the Supreme Court. What can you tell us?
Well, definitely, as of what our sources tell us, is that Mukhtar Ansari's son, Abbas Ansari, has approached the Supreme Court. He has, in fact, sent a petition copy to the vacation officer. Remember that the Supreme Court at this point of time is in a break. It is not functioning at this particular point of time, and hence, a request has been made to the vacation officer to arrange for a bench. The request will then go to the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, who will be taking a call, since he is the master of the roster, and would be assigning a bench if he feels that, there is urgent need. Remember that Ansari is seeking, extraordinary parole in these extraordinary circumstances where his father has actually succumbed to a heart attack and, will be buried at the family burial ground. So he wants to attend that particular ceremony, and generally in such cases, even the courts also become a little lenient and allow for a parole. But at this point of time, as of what we know, there is no call taken as to whether an urgent hearing has to be, granted to them or not. We might get some update in the next few minutes or in the next few hours. But at this point of time, the request has gone. However, the response of the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, and of the Supreme Court is yet awaited. So we'll have to wait and watch for that, and whether or not Mr. Ansari would be able to join, in fact, his father's funeral is something that we'll have to wait for.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait and watch whether or not Abbas Ansari is allowed to attend his father's funeral. Having said that, he's currently lodged in the Kasganj jail. Many thanks to you, Ananya, for bringing in all those latest inputs. And with that, let's also bring you some more reactions that have come in on this news story.
देखिए, जब किसी भी डिसीज के फैमिली मेंबर कोई बात कहते हैं तो उसको आपको सीरियस लेने की बहुत ज़रूरत है। और अगर आप देखेंगे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी वो लोग गए थे जिसमें उन्होंने इस एप्रीहेंशन का इजहार किया था उस फैमिली ने कि उनको प्रिजन में ही मार दिया जाएगा, कि कोई अंदर आएगा। और फिर सुप्रीम कोर्ट को उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार ने ये बताया कि उनकी हिफाजत की जाएगी, उनकी जान की। और जब उनकी फैमिली कह रही है कि उनको स्लो पॉइजन दिया गया है, तो मैं ये चाहूंगा कि इसकी एक सही तरीके से इंडिपेंडेंट इंक्वायरी हो और जो फैमिली कह रही है उसको सीरियस लेने की जरूरत है। जब जुडिशियल कस्टडी में किसी की मौत हो रही है और उनकी फैमिली उस एप्रीहेंशन का इजहार कर चुकी है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट वो लोग केस डाले हैं, तो इसमें पॉलिटिक्स क्या है भाई?
देखिए, जिन्होंने संरक्षण दिया अपना राजनीतिक लाभ लेने के लिए, वो कुछ भी बयान देते रहे। मैं इतना ही कहूँगा, मेडिकल जांच हो चुकी है, न्यायिक जांच मांगेंगे तो वो भी हो जाएगी, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं। सच जानने का हर किसी का है। आज अगर 25 साल के युवा को हार्ट अटैक आ जाता है, किसी को 35 साल वाले को 30 साल, ये होता है। और जो भी हुआ होगा वो सच सबके सामने आया है। लेकिन अपनी राजनीतिक रोटियां सेकने के पीछे ये भी तो बताना चाहिए कि आखिरकार इतने वर्षों से जेल में किस अपराध के चलते थे।
इस परिवार से हमारे राजनीतिक संबंध रहे हैं और कई बार के ये विधायक रहे हैं। तो देखिए, इनकी मौत संदेह में है, तो न्यायपालिका को तुरंत इस पर ले लेना चाहिए।
आरोपी मुख्तार अंसारी की जेल में मौत हुई है, वो उत्तर प्रदेश की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार पर गंभीर प्रश्न खड़े करती है। मुख्तार अंसारी ने कुछ दिन पहले आरोप लगाया था कि उन्हें धीमा जहर दिया जा रहा है, और आज प्रशासन बता रहा है कि उनकी दिल का दौरा पड़ने से मौत हो गई। इसकी उच्च स्तरीय जांच होनी चाहिए, हाई कोर्ट के सिटिंग जज के सुपरविजन में जांच हो, ताकि पता चले लोगों को कि जेलों में क्या हो रहा है और उत्तर प्रदेश के शासन में किस तरीके का जंगल राज चल रहा है।
देखिए, बहुत ही दुखद घटना है और ये अभी आप लोगों का या सरकार का कहना है कि हार्ट अटैक से डेथ हुई है। जब तक पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट सामने नहीं आती तब तक हम कुछ ऑथेंटिकली कह नहीं सकते हैं, क्योंकि प्राइमा फेशिया ये हार्ट अटैक से डेथ लग नहीं रही है। देखिए, उसमें बहुत ज्यादा दम है, क्योंकि 2 दिन पहले भी कोर्ट के अंदर एक एप्लीकेशन लग रही है, जिसके अंदर वहां पे उनके जो लोकल लॉयर हैं उन्होंने एप्लीकेशन लगा के बहुत सीरियस एलिगेशन लगाए थे प्रशासन के ऊपर कि इनको स्लो पॉइजन दिया जा रहा है। और कहीं ना कहीं प्रशासन की और जेल प्रशासन की दोनों तरफ से जो गवर्नमेंट है वहां पे और जो प्रशासन है जेल प्रशासन, इनकी ड्यूटी बनती थी कि उसको बड़ा डीपली जाके इन्वेस्टिगेट करते, और कहीं पर भी अगर ऐसा एलिगेशन आते तो इमीडिएटली सारा सराउंडिंग स्टाफ चेंज कर देना चाहिए था।
कोई घेराव नहीं, विपक्ष ऐसे ही बोलता रहता है, कोई जनता विपक्ष को गंभीरता से लेती नहीं। अब भी पोस्टमार्टम हो रहा है, जैसी जानकारी टीवी पे चल रही है, जो जानकारी मिल रही है उस पर भी वो भी साफ हो जाए।
All right, we'll keep a very close watch on that news story for you. But for now, it's time to slip into a quick break. Don't go anywhere because news and updates continue on Nation at 5. Stay tuned.
Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari passed away, and as per the information available, he has suffered a cardiac arrest and had been admitted to Banda Medical College in high security of UP Police, where 9 doctors team declared him dead on Thursday evening. Mukhtar Ansari's family cries foul play in Don's death. Don's brother and sons have made allegations that he was being given slow poison in food inside prison. Even before his death, family has alleged before courts about the conspiracy to kill Mukhtar Ansari. Since his death, even politics is being played around his death. Leaders likes of Tejasvi Yadav, Asaduddin Owaisi and Ram Gopal Yadav have raised related to the mysterious death of Mafia Don inside prison. Autopsy of Mukhtar Ansari would be done by panel of 5 doctors in Banda. Family members have been allowed to be present in hospital at the time of autopsy. Administration has planned to videograph the entire autopsy. Sources in UP government tell us that Given allegations that are being leveled by family of conspiracy behind the gangster's death, UP government is likely to set up a judicial inquiry to look into the allegations. In 1 week, this was the second time that he was admitted to the hospital. Before this, Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari was admitted to the ICU at a hospital in Uttar Pradesh district early Tuesday with a complaint to abdominal pain. His brother and Ghazipur MP Abbas Ansari alleged that he was given poison in jail. An official statement of the prison department on Tuesday, when Ansari was admitted for the first time, says, and I quote, "Due to the sudden deterioration in the health of prisoner Mukhtar Ansari and falling in the toilet in the night, he was immediately given treatment by the jail doctors," unquote. Mukhtar Ansari, who is 60 years old, is a 5-time former MLA from Mau Sadar seat and has been behind the bars in UP and Punjab since 2005. He has over 60 criminal cases pending against him. He has been sentenced in 8 cases since September 2022 by different courts of UP and was lodged in the Banda jail. His name tops the list of 66 gangsters released by Uttar Pradesh police. His family members have been raising apprehensions that Mukhtar Ansari could be killed in a fake encounter. During court's hearing, also his advocate have been saying that cops are giving him slow poison in jail, due to which his health is deteriorating. His son and relatives make allegation on government that government does not allow them to meet him. Mafia.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Now we're getting in breaking inputs on ISIS. We are learning that ISIS is now also all set to take aim at countries like India, China, even the United States and Denmark. They've been issued a threat via a poster that has been released through the media wing of the ISIS, which is training its guns at countries like India and the United States. Remember, earlier this month, the Taliban top leadership was also targeted by ISIS, and it was the very next day, on 22nd of March, that the Moscow terror attack also took place, for which ISIS Khorasan has taken responsibility. And having said that, intelligence sources are now telling CNN News 18 that the ISIS threat in South Asia, particularly in India, is growing day by day, something we've already seen happen in the Rameshwaram blast that took place in Bengaluru earlier, for which NIA suspects the ISIS hand as well. What is this threat all about, and how is ISIS now sort of operating and using a more multi-pronged approach is something that we will also be delving deeper into. But remember, soon after the Taliban took over Afghanistan, ISIS has in fact gained more momentum. It has grown in strength because there is no opposing force in Afghanistan, and Taliban is too weak to oppose ISIS at the moment. Having said that, reports are also indicating that the ISI is joining hands with ISIS. In fact, for more details, let's quickly go across to Abhishek. Abhishek, share the details with us as far as what these intelligence inputs are stating with regards to India.
Well, these are long, anticipated areas of ISIS, and they have been, actively engaging, trying to radicalize more youth, trying to recruit them for their operations across the world. We have seen recently a terror attack happening in Moscow. We have seen, which was again taken, responsibility was taken by ISIS affiliated groups. Attacks on Taliban in Afghanistan have also increased in the recent days, and ISIS considers Taliban, interestingly, as an opposing force, and they have a conflict. But the concern for the Indian agencies and the Indian government is that how youth are getting attracted towards this ideology, this radicalism. We have seen recently one of the students, studying in one of the premium institute in the country, was also in a way radicalized, and their parents are still, clueless as to how did this happen. That a simple guy, intelligent, when he goes to an institution and gets in touch with these extremist ideologies through online, how can he be radicalized? So the online media is something that agencies are trying to keep a tab on as to how many youths are interacting with these affiliations or these groups or these extremist ideology or the individuals. So that is something is worrying, and that is something agencies are trying to keep a tab on.
All right, many thanks to you, Abhishek, for bringing in all those latest inputs. And with that, let's now shift focus over to national politics. The Congress is back on the scanner, this time, as we all know, by the Income Tax Department. And this time they've been, in fact, served a notice worth 1,700 crore rupees. And of course, that's been enough to trigger the Congress party, which has been crying foul, saying that the government at the centre is misusing the central agencies. Well, that is the kind of political furor that's taking place. But the IT department has been very clear about how they have ample incriminating evidence to send such a notice to the Congress party. Having said that, the development also comes after the Delhi High Court dismissed the party's petition challenging the reassessment proceedings for 4 years. The Income Tax Department has served the notice amounting to 1,700 crore rupees, including penalty and interest for the assessment years of 2017 to 2018. Not to forget, even financial year of 2022 up to 21 is included. The Congress now is saying that they will be moving the Supreme Court after the High Court rejected their plea. And how this will in fact be impacting the election campaigning is something we'll have to wait and watch. But Jairam Ramesh of the Grand Old Party has made it amply clear, saying that this will not be impacting our election campaigning, and this will only strengthen the resilience and the resolve of the Congress party. Let's also listen in to the political reactions that have come in.
ऐसे नोटिसों से हमें हमारे मनोबल पर कोई असर नहीं होगा। हमारा चुनाव प्रचार चलता रहेगा। कुछ 2 दिन पहले हमने एक अभियान, मेरे विकास का 2 हिसाब अभियान की शुरुआत की। 3 तारीख को घर घर गारंटी कार्यक्रम शुरू होगा। हमारा चुनाव प्रचार चलता रहेगा। हम और आक्रामक होंगे। हम डरने वाले नहीं हैं, क्योंकि जो डरा रहे हैं वो खुद डरे हुए हैं।
हम पूरी तरीके से आश्वस्त हैं, हमें रिलीफ कोर्ट से मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, रोक नहीं सकते हैं। और हम इसके बाद में सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे, क्योंकि कानून हमारे साथ है। हमें हर हालत में रिलीफ मिलेगा। लेकिन जब हमारे को रिलीफ मिलेगा, जब तक के इलेक्शंस खत्म हो गए होंगे। वी आर मूविंग टू द सुप्रीम कोर्ट। इट्स जस्ट बिकॉज देयर वाज लॉन्ग वीकेंड एंड हॉलीडेज, वी डिडंट डू इट, बट द फर्स्ट थिंग अर्ली नेक्स्ट वीक इज वी आर अप्रोचिंग द सुप्रीम कोर्ट।
Congress has now come out and said last night they got an income tax notice which says that about 1,800 crores need to be paid, and they say that the same is not, it is not the same standard for the BJP, but it's for them. So they're saying that the government is acting against a principal opposition party in the country and making sure that they are unable to contest these elections at a level playing field.
See, Election Commission is there. The court is there. If there is something unlawful that is happening, they can always approach the court. If Congress party has complied with all the regulations, all the acts, nobody will dare to question them. That means again the same question is, I do this, but because I am an opposition party and election is coming, don't ask me questions. So, see, there is a court, na? And court has struck down whatever court felt that it is, in their view, fair, unfair.
Elizabeth has been tracking all the developments for us. Shireen, considering the Delhi High Court has already rejected the Congress plea challenging the reassessment of the Income Tax Department, why is the Congress party still calling this unreasonable and undemocratic?
Well, the Congress party says that this is basically done to paralyze them. The penalty which is being levied on Congress party is something that goes back to, there are 3 cases of course, one goes back to 94, one goes back to 2017 and 2001. Why is it that just before the general election, these IT department is levying such a big penalty and freezing their account? So that is the big concern that the Congress party is saying. Now Congress party also says that if the IT department is putting the same kind of tax evasion law on Congress party, then they should do the same as far as the BJP is concerned. Now Congress party today made a big allegation saying that rupees 4,000 crores should be levied on BJP because they are indulging in tax evasion. They have not shown their documents or the tax that they have collected to the election commission. Now regarding this, they are going to file a PLI as well. And apart from that, on 1st of April, they are going to approach the Supreme Court. So of course, we have to see whether they will get a relief. But they want the relief as soon as possible, Akansha, because the elections are going on. They are not able to send their candidates or pay for their campaign, any sort of funds for election. Congress party is not able to use at the moment, is what they are claiming.
Many thanks to you, Shireen, for bringing in all those latest inputs. And as Shireen was highlighting the fact that this is bound to sort of impact the Grand Old Party's election campaigning, which of course, as we all know, Congress has already been crying foul, saying that their coffers are empty and that financially they are facing a crunch. How this will impact the elections, the upcoming Lok Sabha elections, is something we'll have to wait and watch. But with that, it's time for a quick break. Stay tuned to CNN News 18.
Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari passed away, and as per the information available, he has suffered a cardiac arrest and had been admitted to Banda Medical College in high security of UP police, where 9 doctors team declared him dead on Thursday evening. Mukhtar Ansari's family cries foul play in Don's death. Don's brother and sons have made allegations that he was being given slow poison in food inside prison. Even before his death, family has alleged before courts about the conspiracy to kill Mukhtar Ansari. Since his death, even politics is being played around his death. Leaders likes of Tejasvi Yadav, Asaduddin Owaisi and Ram Gopal Yadav have raised concerns related to the mysterious death of Mafia Don inside prison. Autopsy of Mukhtar Ansari would be done by panel of 5 doctors in Banda. Family members have been allowed to be present in hospital at the time of autopsy. Administration has planned to videograph the entire autopsy. Sources in UP government tell us that given allegations that are being leveled by family of conspiracy behind the gangster's death, UP government is likely to set up a judicial inquiry to look into the allegations. In 1 week, this was the second time that he was admitted to the hospital. Before this, Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari was admitted to the ICU at a hospital in Uttar Pradesh district early Tuesday with a complaint to abdominal pain. His brother and Ghazipur MP Abbas Ansari alleged that he was given poison in jail. An official statement of the prison department on Tuesday, when Ansari was admitted for the first time, says, and I quote, "Due to the sudden deterioration in the health of prisoner Mukhtar Ansari and falling in the toilet in the night, he was immediately given treatment by the jail doctors," unquote. Mukhtar Ansari, who is 60 years old, is a 5-time former MLA from Mau Sadar seat and has been behind the bars in UP and Punjab since 2004.
Welcome back to CNN News 18's Nation at 5. Now, we've been tracking very closely the political pulse of the entire nation. Let's take you to Alwar in Rajasthan, where our correspondent Arun Dhata has spoken to people on the ground level to understand the political pulse over there, what the expectations of the common man are from their leaders, not to forget their Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. Let's listen in.
This is Alwar Lok Sabha seat, and it has become a high-profile seat. And that is because of the candidature of Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav, very senior BJP leader, somebody who has proven his mettle in the organization, but he is making his electoral debut in this Lok Sabha election. What is the response on this of the people of Alwar? We'll get to know. We have stopped here at a market of books. Let's try to find out the pulse and the sense on the ground. चुनाव आ गए हैं। अभी हमने देखा कि सामने से जो है वो एक रैली निकली है। तो क्या माहौल क्या है आपके अलवर में?
माहौल क्या, बीजेपी का माहौल है यहाँ पे पूरा।
कैसे, क्यों?
क्योंकि मोदी की जो गारंटी है वो कोई गारंटी दे ही नहीं रहा ना, केवल मोदी ही ऐसा व्यक्ति है जो गारंटी दे रहा है इस समय। जो सुरक्षा के लिए गारंटी दे रहा है, हर तरह से मतलब जितनी भी सुविधाएं हैं वो उपलब्ध करा रहा है देश को।
अच्छा, तो कई लोग यहाँ ये कह रहे हैं कि भूपेंद्र यादव यहाँ से भाजपा के कैंडिडेट हैं, वो तो इस इलाके के रहने वाले हैं नहीं, तो कई लोग कांग्रेस के ये कह रहे हैं कि वो तो आउटसाइडर है।
ये आउटसाइड क्या करेगा, तो काम तो आगे लोकसभा में बैठ के तो करेंगे।
5 साल में हमको कांग्रेस सरकार ने रुलाया है। मेरा गांव पाला है। हाँ। सर, हमारे आम रास्ते आज तक बंद पड़े हैं, कोई निदान नहीं हुआ। हमने इनके जरूर एप्लीकेशन लगाई है, सरकार कोशिश करने लगी है। कांग्रेस सरकार ने हमारे आम रास्ते, एक छोटा सा गांव है ब्राह्मणों का, पूरा आम रास्ता बंद कर रखा है।
तो बंद क्यों किया, क्या कारण है?
पता नहीं हुआ क्या है कि वहाँ बीजेपी का वोटर खाली पाला गाँव में ही है सर, और कांग्रेस का वोटर सारी कांग्रेस की बेल्ट है वहाँ।
Youth voters are something which every political party is focusing for 2024 Lok Sabha elections. And since we are in Alwar Lok Sabha seat from where Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav is contesting, making his Lok Sabha electoral debut, what is the youth of this Lok Sabha constituency thinks? We'll find out in this report. Right now we are in the Government Law College of Alwar and we have the students of this college with us. 2024 के चुनाव आ गए हैं, कौन से ऐसे इश्यूज हैं जो यूथ के लिए, स्टूडेंट्स के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है, जिसको जहन में रख के वो अपना वोट डालेंगे?
जी, स्टूडेंट्स के लिए सबसे मुख्य बात तो ये कि उनके शिक्षा के ऊपर जो ध्यान दे, उनके भविष्य के जो ध्यान में रख करके, और जैसे इधर सभी लॉ के स्टूडेंट्स हैं तो जो या इधर कोर्ट्स वगैरह हैं उनके अंदर का सुचारू रूप से उनके लिए जो काम हो, उनके जो काम करेगा हम उनको वोट करेंगे।
जो ये आप लोगों ने इनिशिएटिव ये जो बनाया है, इसके ये किसने क्या, किसका थॉट है और क्या सोच के ये बनाया?
सबको वोट देना चाहिए, सबका अधिकार है, और मतलब अपने पसंद का चुनना चाहिए, जो मतलब जिसको जो सही लगे, मतलब जो अच्छा काम करे। ये नहीं है देश के लिए कुछ करे, मतलब हमारे राज्य के लिए, हमारे जिले के लिए जो कुछ करे वही चुनना चाहिए। नहीं कि जाति के हिसाब से या फिर जाति धर्म के हिसाब से वोट देते हैं तो वो नहीं देना चाहिए।
अच्छा, आप जाति धर्म के हिसाब से काफ़ी राजनीति होती है कि यहाँ पे भूपेंद्र यादव हैं तो जी वो यादव उनको वोट दे, इस तरह का रहता है, तो ये सब आप लोग कह रहे हैं ये सब नहीं होना चाहिए?
जी नहीं होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल करे उसी को वोट देना चाहिए ना, जाति से क्या है।
कंगना जी किस तरह से देखते हैं अभिनेत्री अब नेत्री?
देखिए, जब मैं फिल्म शूट पे होती हूँ तब तो मैं एक अभिनेत्री हूँ, लेकिन एक अभिनेत्री बनना या एक जो फील्ड है जिसमें कामयाबी पाने के, असफल होने के ज्यादा चांसेस रहते हैं और कामयाबी पाने के बहुत कम चांसेस रहते हैं, अगर मुझे वहाँ कामयाबी मिली है तो मेरे जो मेहनत करने का तरीका है, या मैंने जो सम्मान पाया है, या मैंने फिल्मों में भी अपने तरीके से एक जो एक्टिंग करके या महिला सशक्तिकरण के ऊपर काम करके आज मुझे लोगों ने अगर अपना प्रतिनिधि चुना है, यहाँ पे प्रत्याशी चुना है, तो उसके लिए मैं नहीं सोचती कि हीरोइन होना मेरे लिए कोई एक ड्रॉबैक है। मैं सोचती हूँ कि उसी जगह से मुझे ये मुकाम मिला है और लोगों ने मुझ में फेथ दिखाया है, लोगों ने मुझ में किसी तरीके का एक विश्वास दिखाया है।
चुनौती तो इसमें भी ज्यादा है जो आपके करियर में अब तक रही है, किस तरह से देखते हैं इस चुनौती को? और यहाँ पर तो सीधा मुकाबला कांग्रेस से है।
चुनौती तो हर फील्ड में होती है, और ये जो है बाकी तो निर्णय तो जनता का ही रहेगा। हम तो जनता के सेवक हैं, हम मैदान में उतर पड़े हैं, और मुझे लगता है कि अगर मुझे मेरी जन्मभूमि में लोगों की सेवा करने का अवसर मिले, उनकी किसी तरह से भी अपना जो वक्त है पूरा अगर मैं अपनी मातृभूमि की सेवा में लगा दूं तो मेरे लिए बड़े सौभाग्य की बात होगी। लेकिन अब ये लोगों का निर्णय है, वो किसको मौका देंगे और किसको नहीं।
आशा जी बधाई, क्या कहेंगे पहली प्रतिक्रिया आपकी?
जी थैंक यू जी, बहुत खुशी हो रही है और इतना आनंद मिल रहा है और बहुत खुश हैं हम लोग, और लोगों ने हमें बहुत सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं और बहुत लोग का इकट्ठे हुए हैं। इनको देख करके तो बड़ा आनंद आ रहा है। अब भी बेटी आने वाली है 10 मिनट में, तो हम सब की बेटी है, पूरे हिमाचल की बेटी है कंगना।
मैं कंगना का एक इंटरव्यू देख रहा था, वो ये कह रही थी कि मैंने अपनी मम्मी को बहुत बोला कि आप मुंबई आइए, पर आप यही खेती बाड़ी में व्यस्त रहती हैं।
सही बात है, हम पहाड़ों के रहने वाले हैं ना, हम नहीं ज्यादा शहर में रह सकते, तो फिर जाती थी मैं, पर थोड़े दिन रुकती थी फिर आ जाती थी।
अब कैसा लग रहा है आपको? राजनीतिक पारी की शुरुआत कर रही है कंगना।
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बेटी की खुशी है तो हम सब खुश हैं।
It's a tough triangular battle here in Thiruvananthapuram. You're taking on 3-time sitting MP Dr. Tharoor and the CPI veteran Panyan Ravindran. What do you think is basically your advantage when it comes to Thiruvananthapuram constituency this time?
I have spent considerable amount of time now trying to visit as many of people as possible,
across a cross section of society, across all of the 7 segments that constitute Trivandrum. And I certainly can see that there has been neglect, decline, and there is so many problems that people are facing that have not been attended to. We as BJP bring to this electoral competition, it is our performance record, what we have done in the last 10 years under Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to transform India, to take India from where it was left by the UPA and the Congress in 2014.
Do you have a roadmap ahead of you? Yes, you're talking about development, but a specific roadmap ahead of you.
Of course, I do. I do have broad ideas in my mind, but again, I will not be as arrogant to say that these are my ideas, this will be the vision, and I'll just make these vague promises. I've started yesterday a program of outreach to every community and every person across the 7 assembly segments, so that together we will work together and create a vision document, a document for the future of Tiruvandavaram.
It is a tough fight here in Attingal constituency. You are taking on sitting MP of the Congress, Adud Prakash, and a sitting MLA from the CPIM, Mr. Vijay. How are you seeing this competition, and what do you think will be your advantages in Attingal constituency?
It is not individuals who are fighting. It's ultimately the parties, their policies, their approaches, their achievements. All these are the various aspects that will come into play. And in this, my biggest advantage is the last 10 years good governance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and the fact that the government is again coming back. Prime Minister Modi will be forming his 3rd government once the results are out.
Alright, we're getting in breaking inputs. This is with regards to former Delhi Minister Satyendar Jain. The Aam Aadmi Party leader, remember, has been in trouble for quite a while now, and the latest we are learning is that the Ministry of Home Affairs has sanctioned a CBI inquiry against Satyendar Jain. This is with regards to extortion money related to conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar. There are allegations that he extracted close to 10 crore rupees. This was taken as protection money by the Aam Aadmi Party leader. For more details, let's quickly go across to Arunima. Arunima, of course, we know that the first the matter was referred to the LG, and the LG had then later suggested that the MHA take over this entire matter. What will now be those angles that will be probed by the CBI?
So CBI has received the go-ahead from Ministry of Home Affairs. LG, like you said, had already given its consent earlier in the month. So now an FIR will be registered. Satyendar Jain, who was out on interim bail, had to go back to judicial custody. And searches will be carried out. Sukesh Chandrasekhar repeatedly has been making allegations, not just against Satyendar Jain, but recently, while during a court appearance, he also shouted out to the media that he has proof against Arvind Kejriwal also. So he has been targeting the Aam Aadmi Party leaders. But the thing that the Aam Aadmi Party can turn around and say Sukesh Chandrasekhar himself is a con man. He's being accused of forgery. He's been accused of impersonation, including impersonation of Union Home Secretary level officers. So can he really be trusted? But searches at residences connected to Satyendar Jain.
All right, many thanks to you, Arunima, for bringing in all those latest inputs. And with that, let's now shift focus over to a very special interaction that took place between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. Remember, they also spoke about artificial intelligence, even India's own approach to climate change. Remember, Prime Minister Modi has spoken extensively about how India, as the leading voice of the global south, has been making contributions to climate change, and in fact Bill Gates also lauded the Statue of Unity as an engineering marvel. Let's listen in to various snippets of this very interesting conversation that happened at Prime Minister's residence some days ago.
In one of the themes I think India brings to technology is that it should be available for everyone, actually lifting up those who need it the most.
जब मैं दुनिया में डिजिटल डिवाइड की बात सुनता था, मैं कहता मेरे देश में मैं सब कुछ नहीं होने दूंगा कि डिजिटल डिवाइड हो। और डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी रिक्वायरमेंट है। आज मेरे यहाँ गांवों तक मैं ये डिजिटल फैसिलिटी पहुंचाना चाहता हूँ। तो मुझे लगता है वो बहुत बड़ा टारगेट ग्रुप है। महिलाएं तुरंत नई चीज़ों को स्वीकार करती है, ये मेरा अनुभव है मेरे देश में। उनके अनुकूल कौन सी चीज़ें मैं टेक्नोलॉजी में ले जाऊंगा तो वो एकदम से एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी बनती है। मैंने एक कार्यक्रम लिया है, नमो ड्रोन दीदी। इसके पीछे मेरे 2 लक्ष्य हैं। एक तो मैं भारत के गांवों में 3 करोड़ महिलाओं को लखपति दीदी बनाना चाहूँ, और वो भी एक गरीब परिवार से। तो मैं एक साइकोलॉजिकल चेंज करना चाहता हूँ। ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ें नहीं, बड़ी चीज़ें करनी है। दूसरा, गांव में महिलाएं मतलब यही काम करेगी, भैंस को चराएगी, गाय को चराएगी, दूध दोहेगी, नहीं। मैं उसके हाथ में टेक्नोलॉजी देना चाहता हूँ। मैं साइकोलॉजिकल चेंज लाना चाहता हूँ। गांव के सब लोगों को लगना चाहिए कि ये हमारे गांव को बदल रही है। एग्रीकल्चर को मैं आधुनिक बनाना, वैज्ञानिक बनाना, ये ज़रूरत मैं देखता हूँ। और उसीलिए मैंने ड्रोन दीदी का, और बहुत सक्सेसफुल चल रहा है। मैं इन ड्रोन दीदी से इन दिनों बातें करता हूँ, उनको इतनी खुशी है। वो कहते हैं हमको साइकिल चलाना नहीं आता था, आज हम पायलट बन गए, हम ड्रोन चला रहे हैं। सोचने का तरीका बदल गया है। ये चौथा जो इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन है, जिसमें डिजिटल एलिमेंट सबसे बड़ा है, और भारत इसमें बहुत कुछ प्राप्त कर लेगा, ऐसा मेरा विश्वास है।
Yeah, I think the key point is that the digital infrastructure just gets keeping richer. You know, a lot of people know about the identity system and the digital payment systems, and that the government, by taking virtually all the government payment programs now and digitizing those, that alone saved a lot of money, and it created access on a more equal basis. But now as you're moving into the different areas, advice for farmers, registering their land, tutoring for kids, and the health records, connecting all of those. That's kind of a second phase. And we're just at the beginning now of the third phase, where these advances in artificial intelligence will come on top of that and make the value even better.
आपने सही कहा, AI का महत्व बहुत है। और मैं तो कभी कभी मजाक में कहता हूँ, हमारे देश में माँ को आई बोलते हैं, माता को बहुत से राज्यों में भाषा बोलते हैं आई। अब मैं कहता हूँ हमारे यहाँ बच्चा पैदा होता है तो आई भी बोलता है, AI भी बोलता है। वो इतना एडवांस हो गया है। अब देखिए मैं कैसे उपयोग करता हूँ, मैं आपको बताऊँ, जिसको देखकर आपको भी खुशी होगी कि कॉमन मैन कैसे AI का उपयोग कर सकता है। जैसे मैंने G20 में AI का बहुत उपयोग किया। मेरे पूरे G20 का परिसर था, उसमें पूरा का पूरा AI का उपयोग करके सारे इंटरप्रिटेशन की व्यवस्था मैंने AI से की। मैंने मेरे सभी ड्राइवर्स को मोबाइल फ़ोन पर ऐप डाउनलोड करवा दिया, उसके साथ बैठे हुए गेस्ट उनको करवा दिया। मान लीजिए वो फ्रेंच भाषा जानते हैं तो ड्राइवर के पास ऐप में फ्रेंच की व्यवस्था थी, वो ड्राइवर के साथ फ्रेंच में बोलते थे, ड्राइवर अपनी लैंग्वेज में सुनता था, ड्राइवर अपनी लैंग्वेज में जवाब देता था। यानी ड्राइवर के साथ कम्युनिकेशन किसी भी लैंग्वेज में वो कर सकते थे। मैंने अभी एक प्रयोग किया, मैं काशी तमिल संगम में कार्यक्रम करता हूँ, तो काशी में तमिलनाडु के लोग आए हुए थे, तमिल भाषा मैं बोल नहीं सकता हूँ, तो मैंने AI का उपयोग किया। मैं हिंदी में बोला और सबने मेरा भाषण तमिल में सुना AI के द्वारा।
I'd love to hear your view on how India sees AI.
अगर हम AI को एक मैजिक के टूल के रूप में उपयोग करेंगे तो शायद बहुत बड़ा अन्याय हो जाएगा। या AI का उपयोग अपने आलसीपन को बचाने के लिए मैं करता हूँ कि भाई मुझे किसी को चिट्ठी लिखनी है, मैं ड्राफ्ट नहीं करूँगा, मैं ChatGPT को कह दूंगा कि मेरी चिट्ठी ड्राफ्ट करके दे दो, तो ये गलत रास्ता है। मुझे तो ChatGPT के साथ कंपटीशन करना चाहिए, मैंने उसके साथ लड़ाई लड़नी चाहिए कि नहीं तुम ठीक नहीं कर रहे हो, तुम ये शब्द की जगह ये क्यों नहीं लाए। तो मैं एआई से आगे जाने की कोशिश करूं। अब जैसे हमारे यहाँ बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस हैं, बहुत सारी बोलियां हैं, मैं एआई को कहता हूं अब इन बोलियों को पकड़िए। मेरे एस्ट्रोनॉट्स को इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए गया था, तो हमारे एस्ट्रोनॉट्स किस प्रकार से काम करने वाले थे, तो रोबोट से मैं बात कर रहा था। मैंने रोबोट से काफ़ी बातें की और मैंने देखा कि मैं अलग अलग टोन में बोलता था, थोड़ा लहजा बदल के बोलता था, और मैं देख रहा था कि वो मुझे प्रॉपर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा था। फिर मैंने उसका नाम बदल करके पूछने की कोशिश की, तो फिर उसने रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया। तो मैंने कहा आपका एआई, मैंने 3 मिनट 4 मिनट बात किया, अभी तक वो मेरी आवाज़ को रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं कर पाया। जब तक मैं उसका नाम नहीं बोलता हूँ वो मुझे रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा। मैं वो चाहता हूँ कि मेरे आवाज़ को सेंस करे, और भले ही मैं उसका नाम न बोलूं लेकिन वो मेरे से बात करे। तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, विल डू दिस। तो मैं हर बार नई चैलेंज देता रहता हूँ।
Yeah, it's early days in AI, and I think everyone who uses it, in the same day you're surprised at how good it is, and you're also surprised at how bad it is. It'll do things you think are hard, and then it'll fail to do some things you think are easy.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Some are indulging in outright eulogizing, while others, including the family, are demanding a free and fair probe into his death. We are talking about none other than notorious Don Mukhtar Abbas Ansari, once the terror of Purvanchal in Uttar Pradesh. His death due to cardiac arrest happened while in judicial custody. So naturally there will be a probe. But the fact that this has happened days after Ansari's family had already raised concerns over slow poisoning of him in jail has added another level of politics to it. Now, opposition parties like SP, AIMIM haven't lost the opportunity to raise a stink over what is now referred to as Yogi Raj in Uttar Pradesh. OVC, for example, has alleged that UP is run by the gun, not by rule of law. Yogi Adityanath, the tough image chief minister, on the other hand, made a rather interesting statement drawing the comparison between previous governments and his. He said, if it goes to the wrong hands, one vote gets you a curfew, and the same vote in the right hands can get Kavad Yatra and Ram Mandir. Now, there's no denying his biggest calling card is law and order improvement in the state, but does that image take a beating rightfully when an Atik is murdered in police custody or an Ansari dies in jail? Or is there, as has been the case in the past, needless politics over Ansari's death, especially because of religious lines as well? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. First up, the death of Mukhtar Ansari has to be looked at a prism of two families. One is his own, that is of course crying foul today, and the other is of the man he had killed.